Just a moment. All right, everyone, we are back for 2 o'clock, a little bit late because we left late. Daphne Previty, let me see who you have on the docket with us. You have Rebecca Gonzalez, and it's a motion to modify conditions of bond.
That's correct.
All right, I think something's wrong with your microphone, Daphne, because I can't hear you that well.
Can you hear me if I get close?
Yes, that I hear better.
Okay.
All right.
So, Judge, I just want you to see my camera. Ms. Gonzalez is here with me in my office, so she's not signed on separately.
Okay, no problem. Have you had a chance to confer with the state?
I conferred prior to getting the setting, and I conferred with Joe Ray Garcia, and he was opposed to our request, Judge.
Okay. All right. State, are you going to be ready to proceed on this today?
Yes, Judge, on the motion to modify.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Just give me one moment. All right. The court is going to call CM 083915, State of Texas versus Rebecca Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Joe Ray Garcia.
For the defense?
Daphne Previty for Sean Brown's office, Your Honor, representing Ms. Gonzalez.
All right. And are you Miss Gonzalez? All right. All right. And Miss Gonzalez, I know that you're all at a distance, but you're going to have to make sure that you keep your voice up and speak louder so that the court reporter can hear, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Judge.
Ms. Gonzalez, do you have any objection with this hearing proceeding by video?
No, ma'am.
All right. All right, we're here. The state has filed a second motion to modify conditions of bond to conform with, I guess, the recommendations from CPS court. State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion?
I have.
And state, are you opposed?
Yes, we are, Judge.
All right, defense, it's your motion. You may proceed.
Your Honor, we have a witness in the room, Miss Jill O'Connor. Will you please swear her?
All right, Ms. O'Connell, if you can unmute yourself and raise your right hand. All right, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. And if you could state your name and spell it for the record, please.
Jill, Jill, O'Connor, Oconnor.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, I have one quick housekeeping matter as well. Ms. O'Connor may know my client as Rebecca Valdez, which is her actual name. When she got booked under her maiden name, Gonzalez, but she is the same person.
All right, if you'll just question the witness about that and whether or not they recognize your client as the person who is listed in this court as Rebecca Gonzalez.
So, Ms. O'Connor, do you know Rebecca Gonzalez, also known as Rebecca Valdez?
Yes, ma'am. Her case came in under both names.
Okay, very good. And do you recognize the person that's here in my court or my office with me?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
And is that the person you know to be Ms. Valdez?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you tell me where you work, please?
All
I
right,
work-
just one second. I'm sorry, just one second. Daphne, when you move to your, I guess, to your left or to your right, that's when we lose your voice. But if you stay facing the way you are now, then we don't lose it.
Okay, thanks, Judge.
Yes,
I'm trying to
yes.
block that light from the window too.
Okay, yes, if you'll stay in that position right there, then it makes it easier for us to hear.
Great. Miss O'Connor, where is it that you work?
I work for Child Protective Services and Family-Based Services, FBSS.
And when you, in your capacity at that job, is that how you met my client?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is it that you were, I guess, asked to look into in this case?
My job was to provide services to the family to ensure that positive behavioral changes could occur so that physical abuse no longer occurred in the household.
And in your capacity, did you have an opportunity to view the child at issue in this case, Ariana Valdez?
Yes, ma'am, in both households.
And when you say both, are you talking about Miss Valdez's ex-husband's house as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And so do you have any reservations about the safety of Ariana in either house?
No, ma'am, none at all.
Okay,
And
I'm sorry, just one second, we lost you then. You said, do you have any reservations about the safety of?
the child in either house?
No, I do not.
And then how long is it that you have been working with the family in this case, Miss O'Connor?
I received this case back in April.
And can you tell Judge Boyd what has happened on the case from April until the present when CPS has lifted the safety plan?
Yes, ma'am. So I got the case at the very end of April. I met with Miss Valdez at the end of April and Mr. Valdez at the beginning of May. I met all the children of the suit throughout the case. Miss Valdez has engaged in parenting classes in addition to individual counseling with a service provider who not only addressed parenting concerns with Ms. Valdez, but has also helped her set positive boundaries in her household.
And have you observed that there's been positive changes made by Ms. Valdez?
Yes, ma'am. I have observed that throughout this case, Ms. Valdez continues to apply age-appropriate discipline with Ariana. Ariana's 4 years old, and as many of us know, children can be challenging. And in those challenges, Mrs. Valdez has applied verbal redirection. She communicates the desired behaviorals for Ariana. She utilizes timeouts for Ariana if the verbal redirection does not work. And then if those two things don't work, she has tried removing some of Ariana's favorite toys. She's really into princesses. So taking away Ariana's princesses for a time being has helped redirect her behavior. And then Miss Valdez has a very strong support network. She has a 17-year-old son who lives in the home, Mr. Christian Rodriguez. He has been very helpful in allowing mom a break. In addition to her older daughter, Kayla Rodolfo. I'm not sure of the spelling. Sorry, I don't have that in front of me. But her older daughter's 24 and she's really good with Ariana as well. And having that good structure allows mom to have a break in the event she needs one, in addition to the support of her parents. Miss Ada Castle and her stepfather, Todd Castle, have been very gracious in reinstilling the behaviors that Miss Valdez is trying to achieve with her daughter, Ariana.
Thank you. Is there anything else? You know that the reason we're here is to persuade the judge to follow the CPS recommendation that Rebecca not have to have supervised visitation. Is there anything else that you know that I didn't ask you that you think would be helpful to Judge Boyd as she makes her decision today?
In typical cases, When parents start exhibiting positive behavioral changes, we do request to modify the safety plan so that we can allow the parents sufficient time to continue to apply the skills they've learned. Mrs. Valdez has been compliant. She's been open and honest with not only myself, but with the team of support within her network. Anytime situations has arisen and she's needed help, she's not been afraid to ask for suggestions and or recommendations. I've collaborated with both the counselors, the counselor for Miss Valdez and the counselor assigned to Ariana, and neither feel that Ariana will be unsafe in the presence of her mom. Ariana herself, I saw her yesterday. She loves her mom, she loves her dad, but she feels the best at her mom's house. And those are Ariana's words. She wants to be with her mom and she feels safe with her mom. So I feel that it is appropriate at this time to allow unsupervised visits. I will continue to monitor the progress of both households, of the child in both homes, to ensure that her needs are appropriately being met and that both parents can apply appropriate discipline for the child when necessary.
Thank you very much. I pass the witness, Judge.
All right, State.
Yes, Judge, just briefly. Ms. O'Connor, are you aware of the pending criminal charge against Ms. Valdez at the moment?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and that charge would be injury to a child, correct?
I believe it says child endangerment on the record.
Okay, which involves injury to the child?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and are you aware of the allegations of how that child was injured?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so you're aware that the child was under the defendant's supervision when these allegations were made?
Can you say that again?
So you're aware that the alleged allegations that the child was injured, that at that moment the child was in the defendant's supervision, correct?
Yes, she was in the care of her mom.
Okay, and it's still your opinion that even though this criminal case is still pending, that she be allowed unsupervised contact with the child?
I don't know if that's an appropriate question for me. I'm not a criminal attorney. I know from Child Protective Services standpoint, mom has exhibited positive behavioral changes. She is applying appropriate discipline, which is what we would expect of a parent in a case of this suit. And I do believe that it is appropriate that mom should be granted unsupervised visitation as the child does not feel fearful of her mother. Her mother is applying appropriate discipline techniques, has successfully completed parenting, and is continuing to engage in counseling services. The child will continue to be monitored. So I do feel that it is appropriate that at some point, mom does get to have the right to be unsupervised with her daughter.
Okay, you're saying at some point, but just to be clear, you're not saying yes, she needs to be unsupervised at the moment.
No, I am saying yes. I agreed and I staffed this case to remove the safety plan in July, on July 9th.
Okay, and you also stated that before you re-advised the safety plan, that the mother or the defendant learn new skills and coping skills to apply with the child?
Yes, sir. She has been engaged in parenting since May of 2021.
Okay, and it might seem obvious, but while she learned those new skills, she can apply those while she's being supervised, right?
Yes, I mean, she was applying them. Ariana was with her the entire month of June, where she was applying those behavioral skills. In addition to, she had 2 visits during the month of July with her mom and family members, and Ariana continues to be safe. There has been no new incidences throughout this case, no new intakes. And again, Ariana feels safe in the presence of her mom.
Okay, have you spoken to Ariana's father?
I have. My last visit with him, one second, I can tell you.
It's all right if you don't have the exact date, just a
I
yes.
spoke with him I believe it was the 20th of July. I did a face-to-face visit with not only him, but with Ariana at their residence after I requested a wellness visit of Ariana to
Okay,
ensure
all right.
that there were no concerns by the medical providers. Mr. Valdez did take her. I did let Mr. Valdez know that the safety plan, we recommended that it be removed. He did not appear to have any initial concerns other than he thought a protection order was put in place and that I was not aware of.
Okay, so did he state to you that he had concerns for his child's safety?
He did not.
Okay.
It was actually July 12th. I'm sorry, it was July 12th. It was the weekend before Ariana went with her mom for the weekend.
Okay, and while she was having supervised visits, who was with the defendant and her child while she's watching her?
The maternal grandmother, Miss, I think it's Ada Castle or Ida.
Okay, and are you aware that the grandmother, before these allegations occurred, was involved in the child's life?
She's the grandmother. I was aware. Yes, sir.
Okay, and were you aware that there was allegations or injuries on the child that the grandmother didn't report?
No, I was not.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, defense?
No further questions either. May Ms. O'Connor be excused?
Well, are you going to call another witness?
No, I'm not.
All right, then there are some things that I would like to know, and whether or not the defense or the state wants to ask these questions. Why was CPS involved in the case? Because the court only knows what's in the motion. And what I see in the motion is that the defendant was arrested for injury to a child, but that's all I know. So I don't know any alleged facts of the case. So if someone wants to ask those questions, I would like to know when parenting classes started. I would like to know who supervised her parenting skills. I'd like to know when the parenting classes, if they were successfully completed and she obtained her certificate. I'd like to know when she obtained that certificate. I'd like to know how old the complainant is. I would like to know what injuries the state is speaking of when they're saying that the grandmother was aware, but the grandmother didn't report. So if someone could, or if someone wants to, or if they could flesh that out a little bit more for the court, because I'm at the situation where I know what CPS is saying. I know what the defense wants, but I want to know before I make my decision how much time actually went into supervising your client and what actually she did, because we haven't delved into that comprehensively as far as the court is concerned.
I'll redirect, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Ms. O'Connor, is it true that the case was open because Ariana had a bruise on her back?
Yes, ma'am. 2 bruises.
And I don't know if you know the answer to this, but are you aware that Mrs. Castle saw that bruise earlier in the week before Mr. Valdez made the report?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and then do you know the day of that allegation?
Yes, one moment. My records indicate that it happened on 4/2 was when it was reported, so April 2nd of 2021.
And I believe that was Good Friday. Does that sound like it was right around Easter weekend to you?
Yes.
Okay. And then you said that you didn't get on the case initially, but was there a different member of the Texas Department of Family Protective Services working the case immediately?
Yes, ma'am. The investigator was assigned additionally, and then the case transferred over to me on 4/22 of 2021. So I got it about 20 days after the initial investigation occurred.
And then are you the person that suggested that she begin the parenting classes through the family-based services?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you remember, do you have in front of you the dates that those began?
Yes, ma'am. 1 second. She started them in May, and she successfully completed them. 1 second. She worked 8 sessions through the HOPES program and completed it the last week of June.
And upon completion, is there a certificate that's awarded?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you in possession of the certificate?
I know that Miss Rebecca emailed it to me. I do have it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And then Judge Boyd also asked who was supervising her. I know that the order was that she be supervised by Mrs. Castle. Is that the person that you checked in with to make sure that all of the
Well,
things
she
that
was
Rebecca—
not only supervised by Miss Castle, she was also supervised by or counseled with her counselor, Miss Leslie Vanneman, was reiterating the skills that she learned each week in her parenting classes. Each week, I asked Miss Valdez to provide me notes from her sessions, and she had emailed them to me as I had requested so that her and I could go over them as well. And then when I did my visits with Miss Valdez and Mrs. Castle, I would ask about the progress, any concerns, any trouble, not trouble, but any issues that they were confronting with Ariana's behavior, and how they handled those behaviors. And Miss Valdez continues to be appropriate. I also spoke to her other son, who's Christian, he's 17, who's in the home privately, to see if he had any concerns or if he noticed any behaviors that, could have been addressed or handled differently. No concerns from him as well.
And I know you mentioned the child's age earlier. Do you have her birth date?
I do. She just turned 4. Her birthday is, I want to say it's July 10th. 1 second. Yes, it's July 10th, 2017.
And the parents of Ariana are no longer together?
That's correct.
And are you aware if there's a case also pending in front of Judge Norma Gonzalez?
I believe it's the child custody suit. I'm not 100% certain if she's in charge of that.
Did you have occasion to be involved with that litigation as well?
I did testify, but I wasn't certain if it was the criminal charge that I testified in or if it was the child custody.
This is the first time you're at the criminal court.
Okay, so it was the child custody suit.
Thank you. Were there any safety issues, if you know, that Judge Gonzalez ordered for this case?
No, ma'am, not that I was aware of.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, did that answer all of the questions that you had? I think I
Yes.
caught them all.
Yes, and one final thing.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
there an amicus attorney in this? And was there sometimes I know that in safety plans, sometimes the children do have attorneys, even though it's a safety plan and not a legal case. Was there a child's attorney?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Lisa Duke was I think they called it an amicus.
Yes.
And Judge, I reached out to her as well for today, but I did not hear back from her. I know that the family, advanced family conference is this week, so I'm not sure. And then Judge, do you have the affidavit that we attached to the motion?
Yes, but I have not read that affidavit because you submitted it sort of as an exhibit, and I need to know whether or not the state is going to have an objection to that attachment.
Judge, I read through it a while back, but to my understanding, it's everything that was testified today. So,
All right. So are you offering it into evidence or no, Ms. Previty?
Yes, I would offer it, Judge.
All right. And the defense has submitted it as Defense Exhibit A. State, do you have any objection to that?
no, that's fine, Your Honor.
All right. Well, State's Exhibit A is admitted. And Ms. Previty, if you could email that exhibit to the court and to Mr. Garcia so that we can forward it to the court reporter so that she can include it in this hearing.
Yes, Judge.
All right. So is this any other questions from the state of this witness?
Just a few more from the state, Your Honor. Yep. May I proceed?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor, you stated before reevaluating the safety plan that Ariana said that she felt safe with her mother.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and she's 4 years old now?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, are you aware that in this case, she also stated that her mother did cause the injuries to her back?
Yes, she did admit that to me.
Okay, no further questions.
All right. Any other questions from the defense of this witness?
Ms. O'Connor, I know you and I had visited before your testimony today, but I didn't ask you this question. Do you know if Ariana gave two other inconsistent manners of how this injury may have occurred? Were you aware of that?
No, ma'am. From my I can only go off of what she told me. And what she told me has been consistent throughout the case. That she put stickers on the wall, twinkle, twinkle, little star stickers on the wall, and she got in trouble. She didn't say how she got in trouble, but that she had bruises on her back. This was probably a month after the incident occurred, and she lifted up her nightgown and there was no bruises, and she was insistent that she had bruises on her back. And I asked Ariana if I could take pictures to show her, and she said yes. So I took a picture of her back and I showed her the photo, and she looked at me and said, well, where did they go? And I had to explain to her that bruises go away. And she said, okay. And that's the last time Ariana has mentioned the injuries to me.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right. State any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Is this witness excused or subject to recall?
We're happy for her to be excused, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good day.
All right.
Thank
too.
you.
Any other witnesses, defense?
No, Your Honor, we rest.
All right. State any witnesses?
No, Your Honor, just argument.
All right. Before you all do argument, this is what I'm going to do. I know there's a family law CLE conference that's going on. Ms. Previty, do you know when that is ending?
No, I know it was this week, so I'm not sure exactly. I can look it up real fast.
Yes, if you can look it up, and I'll try to look it up as well. And Mr. Garcia, if you could try to look up to see when the family law conference ends.
Okay, yeah, research.
Oh, I think today may be the last, what I'm pulling up, it seems that it's August 2nd through 5th. Does anyone see where it's longer than that?
No, that's what I see as well.
Mr. Garcia, do you see where it's going longer than that?
No, Judge, I don't see it.
Okay, and then I see where they have webcast replays August 8th through 10th. This is what I want to do, and this is why I don't want you all to do your argument yet. I would like to hear from Ms. Duke, because when I was an attorney doing CPS cases, found that usually the children for the attorneys know more because they have more contact with them. Caseworkers are overworked and they have a lot of children that they're working with. And Ms. Gonzalez, I know you want a ruling today, but I want to make sure that the complainant has someone here to say on their behalf and let me know how things are going. And I think the best person or one of the people to do that would be the child's attorney. So Ms. Previty, we're going to recall this back as soon as possible, which would be maybe Monday, and see if we can get Ms. Duke here, probably maybe Monday or Tuesday, because I feel like if she's in a hearing today, well, in conference today, then she's probably not going to get any messages maybe until Monday. So Ms. Previty, are you okay with us recalling this for Tuesday for the court to make its decision? And we can do it Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon.
Yes, Judge. I'll reach back out to Ms. Duke and check her availability, and then I'll get back in touch with your coordinator, Norma, if that's okay.
Well, yes, and if you give us Ms. Duke's email, we will make sure the court emails her and invites her to this Zoom.
Okay, I will do that.
All
I
right.
don't have a phone number, but I'll get that.
All right, and Ms. Gonzalez, just so you know, the court will make its decision on August 10th. Norma?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, can we recall this case for August 10th? And if we could do it in the morning. My understanding there'll be only one witness. State, are you planning on calling any other witnesses?
No, Judge, I feel like hearing from the amicus attorneys is enough.
I didn't hear you.
No.
All right, so Norma, it's really just going to be a report that I received from the child's attorney in CPS court. So if we can come back, if possible, on August 10th.
Okay.
All right, so we'll come back on August 10th, and at that time, I'll make my ruling. What's best for you, Ms. Previty and Ms. Gonzalez, morning or afternoon?
Morning is probably better, Judge.
Okay. And
I'm
Norma,
going to be out of town, so I'll be zooming in from elsewhere.
all right. And Norma, can you make sure that Ms. Duke, and Norma, I'm gonna send you and Joe Ray Garcia to a breakout room so Ms. Previty can give you the information for who is the witness that needs to be in. So we'll close the record, and I'm gonna send you Ms. Previty and Joe Ray to breakout room number 1. And Norma, if you could go to number 1 with them.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
let's just make sure that attorney is here on Tuesday.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. Mr. Cole, you're late.
Yes, ma'am. My lawyer never emailed me the information. I just called the district clerk's office to get it from them.
Yep, there's a warrant for your arrest.
I see.
Yes, and I'm not recalling it. This is the second time that you've come in here late. And the last time I recalled it, and you knew that your court date was for today. Because
Yeah, I
the
knew-
last
I
time
knew
you were
for
here,
today,
I
but-
gave it to you today, and I tell everyone, if you can't Zoom in, then you need to appear in person. And so therefore, there's a warrant for your arrest, and you can speak to your attorney concerning that.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and you probably should go to an AA or NA meeting.
Why would I do that?
All right, and we're just waiting for Mr. Cox, Mr. Freeman.
Has he been here?
Yes, he came earlier today, but I asked him to come back later today because we were taking our break. So you will get a chance to see him today, Mr. Freeman. Don't worry, okay?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Everyone, we're going to go on a short break.
Judge, can I see you in a breakout room real quick?
Yes, I'll see you in breakout room number 2.
Thank you.
What? I need to wipe the, I'm gonna wipe that first because it's hard. I'm like this. Yes, mute. Are we muted? No.
Imari.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think they put me in a breakout room with you. So last time
Cornelius, I'll move you to a breakout room.
okay.
Oh, I'm not assigned to it.
Oh, you can't do it?
Nope.
I'll do it.
1 second, 1 second. With this client?
Um, Judge?
Yes.
All right.
Hello?
Yes, Judge. I conferred with Sanders a little bit. I can continue to confer. I don't know what the court wants to do. One of my problems is that it's a little after 3. I got a toothache, and I'm gonna try to get to my dentist before they leave. So if you need to bring me back, that's fine. I would rather.
All right, could you have your client come in the main room, Mr. Cox?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Don't be trying to take Matilda from me. Sorry, and I'm talking to someone else in the room, everyone. Just give me a moment. All right, Mr. Cox, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the breakout rooms so he will come out of the breakout room. Just give me a moment. All right, Mr. Cox, your client should be here in 6 seconds.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He's here.
All right. You're the judge.
Norma?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Freeman, can you recall this? Let me see, he has several new cases.
These are the new cases, Judge. That's the problem. I had some old ones. We got some new ones, and I'm still trying to get some things resolved between me and Mr. Saunders. So I need a little more tiempo, a little more time. I would prefer a little bit more time.
All right,
Judge.
Mr. Cox, I can't even see you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge. My video's not on. Oh,
No,
okay.
your video's up, but I guess you're missing somewhere. All right, Mr. Freeman, could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Freeman, I don't take any of these cases as true because I haven't heard any evidence in these cases. But
Yes,
I
yes.
want you to listen to what I'm going to say to you very closely.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
have a case from 2020, and that is an aggravated robbery case. And then I now have all of these new cases, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3 new cases, because you have another aggravated robbery that's from 2020. This is the thing. I'm going to give your attorney a 30-day reset,
Yes, ma'am.
but at some point in time, and it's going to be fairly recent, we are going to proceed on those old cases regardless of whether there are new cases pending or not. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Norma, can I have a 30-day reset for Mr. Freeman?
Yeah, we can do September 9th, Judge.
All right, we will come
Excuse-
back. Yes?
I was gonna say, when did I caught, they're added, what, I have 3 more new cases added
Excuse me,
on to?
that you'll need to, Mr. Freeman, I don't discuss like what's in a case with people who are accused of offenses. Your attorney will do that for you, okay? If you
Yes.
need to speak to your attorney before we excuse him, you can let us know, and you can always speak with your attorney. But for now, your cases are going to be recalled for September 9th, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll come out to judge. It's the same cases, so don't worry. It's the same stuff. All right. All right. I thank you, Judge. I appreciate your patience and your consideration in these matters.
All right, thank you. Hopefully everything goes well with your
I'm
tooth.
trying to get to my dentist before they close up, because I'm in agony, Judge. I'm in agony.
All right, is that just the agony? But if a woman had that, it wouldn't be that much of a problem. All right, I wish you well, Mr. Cox.
Probably.
All right.
Take care,
All
Judge.
right, don't drive too fast.
All righty.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Mr. Freeman, we'll see you back on September 9th, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
All right, and Norma, that's 14B. And that is our last case for today. So I am going to stop live stream, but I'm presiding judge, so I'll be here till 5, and I'm always here till 5